Hi kids, it's Bunny with another junk journal, and this one is a celestial themed. I believe it's the second one that I've made with a celestial theme. Let me zoom out a hair, and as you can see, it's hardback with a pretty fabric cover with a celestial theme, and we have a stargazer and some black lace, and it's held together with a navy blue velvet ribbon. And let's take it apart and see what's inside. Okay, inside we have a glittery pocket with a couple of journal cards. All journal cards are blank on the back, so you can write journal on them. Here's a miniature envelope with a miniature couple of miniature journaling cards in it. I don't think you'll be able to write very much on them, but it's cute anyway. And here is the letter from the creator, me, telling you all about this journal in case you don't know much about junk journals. And the full page art that we see is from Digital Hobby Helper on Etsy. Very pretty mystical pages. The blank pages are coffee dyed. And before I go any further, if this runs out, as it sometimes does before I'm done, I'll do a part 2 to finish it. Unless I'm very near the end. If I'm very near the end, then I just won't bother. Anyway, here's a tuck with some more journaling cards. And some vintage ephemera. All the ephemera in here is authentic vintage. It's upside down, okay? It's a check from 1918. And that's pretty cool. We have some coffee dyed ledger paper, and here's some wallpaper. And this is some vintage music, sheet music. I'm always chasing rainbows. And here we have some vellum paper with a lacy design on it, and a vellum envelope right here, and inside is a small journaling card. And here's another journaling card, and another journaling card, and the first tag. The tags are from Release the Craftin' on Etsy. And they're also all blank on the back and have places on the front where you can journal. And moving on, it's hard to tell whether it's one page or two. With a doily. Here's a page from a vintage children's book about space. I believe it's a golden book, an oversized one. And here is some handcrafted paper with pretty flower petals in it. Here in the center of this signature, we have a double pocket made from some old wrapping paper that I've saved for years. And inside we have a journal card. And this is a vintage letter from, let's see, 1924. And I believe it's to someone's sister. That's fun to read. More journaling cards. And this is a little miniature notebook with miniature cards in it and pages for you to journal on. And little clusters throughout. More book page, more and doily. In this tuck, we have a journal card. And here's one that has a child's poem on it about the man in the moon. And here's some more authentic vintage ephemera from 1897. Looks like a bill of sale. Amazing how they've held up through the years. More vellum. More vintage music, sheet music paper. This is a pocket that, of course, has journaling cards in it. And a tag. It also unfolds so that you have more space to write on, even though there's a few blotches. It still offers you another page to write on. And I believe it goes this way. And more mystical paper. It's just some vintage note paper. And in this tuck we have a miniature envelope and has a miniature card inside it. Here's a lovely outfit. Another journal card and a tag. This is some handmade paper that's very soft. And in this brown envelope we have a vintage photograph. And the vintage photographs are authentic. And a journaling card. More vellum. Here's a belly band that has some journaling cards in it. Including a rather large one that you can get a lot of writing done on. This is a page from a vintage magazine with an advertisement for the movie A Star is Born. And in this tuck there's Starry, Starry Night. More journaling cards and a mystical tag. Sheet music, vellum, more of the vintage page from a children's book about space. Here is an envelope with a journaling card in it and something else. Oh, some vintage ephemera. Um, 1920 something. Paid from a bank. In this pocket, on the outside of the pocket, I have a little glassine envelope with some little miniature pretty cards in it. And in the pocket, there's more journaling cards. And another piece of vintage ephemera from 1883, a check. And moving on, you can see we put a lot of lace on the edges of some of the pages. There's more of the vintage, not vintage, but handmade paper and vintage music paper, doily. In this pocket there's a small vintage photograph and journaling cards. And another tag. And this is another one of those that opens up and unfolds so you can write on it. Pretty pink vellum. And in this tuck there's more journaling cards. Some birdies. Another piece of vintage ephemera. 1895 receipt from Wool Pullers, whatever that is. And some more wallpaper. Here's another vellum envelope with a card inside. And more cards, tag, and another vintage check from 1913. Actually, it's a receipt, not a check, it's a receipt. And in this pocket there's another miniature envelope with a mini card inside. And this is a vintage photograph of a very uninhibited lady, apparently. And we have another, here's a vintage Yahtzee scorecard from a Yahtzee game. And here's some more journaling cards and more vintage ephemera. This one is from 1869. Looks like a check from the Bank of New York. Is that where it was? No, that's not where I was. Where was I? I was here. Okay. And then here's a page from a vintage magazine showing some movie stars of the era. And in this pocket there's more journaling cards. And this is probably not a vintage photograph, but I thought it was really cute and included it. And in this tuck, more journaling cards, a little dipper, and a tag. And more from the vintage children's book. And more vintage music. Here's a belly band. Has a journaling card and another miniature notebook for your journaling pleasure. More vellum. This is from a vintage dairy farmer form book or something. I can't remember what it is. It's from a dairy farmer. And here's another vintage photograph. More stars. And in this one we have some interesting journaling cards and a tag. And here we have the inside, the back cover, a large journaling card, and made by Bunny. And that's the journal, and I think I made it before it ran out. So you can look in my Treasure Journals Etsy shop if you're interested for more information. And you have a good day. Thank you.